And just for like my own sanity, Anthony, who's Bailey for this?
I'm Anthony.
And I'm Bailey.
Okay, amazing.
And I'm
Well,
Anthony, and that's Bailey.
Yeah,
all right, well, great. Now we're just all confused all over
yeah.
again.
We
So
won't switch.
Okay.
We'll stay seated over here. So
it feels like inappropriate for everything that happened in Colombia with you guys
yeah.
yesterday. Before we even get there, I would love to find out from you guys. Obviously, you talked about how you've been raised to be competitive with one another. What led you to decide to compete as a team together on The Amazing Race? So you've been watching the show for long. What made you decide to take the dive?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something we always, and when I say like we always felt like we were pinned against you, like I don't think it was all like malicious. It was just kind of, it's hard to not compare someone that's like almost exactly like you in every aspect. So we always knew that we did work well together, even if, it wasn't as efficient as it looked, the other day. But like we work well together, and I think we can like not butt heads all the time and kind of just get over some stressful things. So for the show, we've been watching it for a while now, and I just like when the opportunity came up, we were like, there is just no way we can't, like, I don't know.
It was one of those things where we just thought it was a great opportunity to like strengthen our relationship and just work as a team for once instead of always competing against each other. So
I definitely feel like we came out stronger from this regardless of everything else. It was like it was so awesome.
Amazing. Well, we'll get to that, but we got to go through everything that happened as the rain fell down in Colombia. To start, I mean, look, you seem like two young, athletic guys. Color me a bit surprised when, you're climbing these stairs and you're in the last group, but you wind up tied for last place with Michelle and Sean going into the boats. Was there like another navigational thing that was happening there? Was it just a slowdown on the steps? What caused you guys to fall to the back of the pack so early on?
When we started, I guess it was split in three groups. So we started in the last one. So we were already behind the start. And I mean, I'm sure everyone else was too, but like definitely the that continue racing leg, the mega leg, Mexico, our legs hurt, we were tired. So we're like, maybe if we can just get down these stairs and pick it up in other aspects.
yeah, I think our game plan was to slow down and think just a lot more. And obviously that cost us the time, but coming down from the stairs, we did get a little lost, as you saw, trying to find just the boat ramp alone. So that did eat up a lot of our time, and it did kind of keep us in the back there. So
Yeah.
I think that we were going down hills and all the wrong way before we even found that boat ramp. So
Yeah. And then when it started raining, like we didn't want to slip, we were trying to like not,
try to keep on pace, yeah, without busting.
Yeah, I'm intrigued because obviously we saw in even the episode before this, you really struggle finding the pit stop. Was this just like, was there a common denominator in all the navigational problems you were having, or did it just happen all at once?
I think for sure just the navigation in general. I think just in life, I'm so used to just typing everything in on my phone.
Mm.
So I mean, and especially with like even trying, we couldn't read any of the signs. Like our Spanish is horrible. Like everything about it was like setting us up for failure.
Yeah, to answer your question, yeah, navigation. I think it was, I don't know if it was one, specific thing, or it was just our navigation the entire time that kind of just
it all added up.
Yeah, I think it was just time and time just kept catching up to us. So
Now, look, we got to get into this detour because I think it's pretty. I've been watching the show for a long time. I think it's pretty unprecedented to have one team switch three times over the course of one leg. So I just got to go through your sort of headspace right now. Was it a matter of just seeing things and immediately making a split decision? How much did that go up against what you guys were saying before of like, we need to slow down and think things through?
yeah, the indecisiveness came from I think we had a pact going into it. If there's any mental challenge or physical one, we'll just jump on the physical.
We'll always do
one
the
right away.
physical, and I think that
The physical challenge with those willies actually ended up being a little more mental than physical, I think, just with of order and just where to stack things. And
I mean, it looked crazy. I think there's a reason why all the other teams did go the other direction. So then, yeah, so we do that. And then we pull up we're like, okay, this is insane, dude. Like, let's just get out of here now. Let's go to cooking while everyone else is still there. We go, and, everything's in Spanish. I'm trying to read. I don't know what any of these words say. I'm like, is it gonna take us longer just to like
Translate.
just try to translate and figure out what the heck any of this stuff is, or just go back to like something we kind of already had the idea for? We go back again. We're like, okay, this is actually still as crazy as it was the first time. I'm like, there's still no way we're doing this. Maybe we could catch double Dutch. They're still cooking. They're still, they're still on pace.
And when we saw everyone cooking, they looked a lot more relaxed than we did trying to figure out those Jeeps. So we figured maybe there's, some truth behind that is not as chaotic as that one. So again, like he said, when we got there, all the instructions were in Spanish and, we were like, hey, maybe we'll throw the dish together. But I think trying to translate that.
No, there's no YouTube, bro. You can't even like look it up, man. No, that's how I cook at home.
Our head started spinning when we saw the Spanish instructions. We're like, well, I mean, like the Willie is like you just look at it and you place it. So we're like, maybe we're better off doing that.
I should say in the moment it felt like it made sense, but watching it back last night was like pulling teeth.
Yeah, it was hard watching it again, definitely.
Oh, I'm intrigued because we saw like Kishori and Karishma at one point walk over to another team and basically be like, hey, can you help us? What's each meat? Did you guys debate? Because you said that there were some teams in cooking. That's why you swapped. Did you ever debate trying to like talk with other people about, hey, what are you working on? Or were you really just heads down? I'm going to try to get through this task.
I think we were I think we were more focused on our race and, everyone we did feel the pressure of being behind. And I don't think even asking for help was, I don't know why, but it didn't cross our mind at the time. I think we were just so focused on our own race and our next steps that I guess we never even thought to ask for help.
Yeah, and everyone's so nice, but like we didn't want to rely on maybe another team being super nice and just helping us through, especially when it was kind of tight for the back of the pack people. Like I didn't think, double Dutch, sweet people, I don't know if they would be in a rush to help us, with, catch up and pass them,
Yeah,
so like
a race at the same
time. Like I get it. So
it's tough to say what if, but I know that like you talked at the mat after being eliminated about how, once you had sort of finished at the end of the detour, that the roadblock, people certainly struggled on it, but like it did seem relatively like the people who arrived in a certain order left in a certain order. Do you think if you had stuck with the cooking once you took it rather than switch back and switch back again, that you would have been in an okay position to survive the leg? Or was there something else that happened after the detour that we didn't know about that put you even further in the hole?
No, I think what you said, man, like if we just stuck to one thing, or at least back and forth twice, like not the third time in a row, like I feel like there could have been a lot of slack made up.
Yeah, I think to even be more specific, I think if we stuck with cooking, I think, going to Willie's, that was okay to switch. I just think we should have stayed at cooking. I think that was our best bet. And in hindsight now, yeah, I don't think we should have switched.
Like very obviously the best
option there, dude.
Yeah. So when you end up leaving and you end up arriving at the mat, like how close were you to Michelle and Sean? Because we saw they were having some trouble getting to the roadblock in the first place. Were you able to like catch them up a little bit, or was it truly like once they finished the cooking, they never looked back?
No, I felt like it was a race pretty close until the end.
Yeah, I mean, I was up on the hill picking those coffee beans, and I was able to see Sean down there waiting for the most part until there was one point where we didn't see them, and that's kind of when it clicked, But
they were there up until almost the very end. Like they were cracking me up too. They're so funny, Sean and Michelle. But they were,
it was a close one. We didn't see them as we were like racing to the line, but I can assume it was probably just as close as
it was a matter of
saw last night.
Yeah, it was close. It was definitely close enough. But
now this, it's hard to even imagine timing now. Like it's just.
Well, last thing I want to ask is actually going back to one of the first things you said. I mean, like, you two are some of the closest that Amazing Race teammates can get. You literally shared a womb, you share DNA. But I would love to hear from each of you what you learned most about the other person racing around the world together. Anthony, we'll start with you.
All right. What I learned most about this guy racing around the world is that I think we've learned how to handle some of our conflicts. I think we were so quick sometimes to be like, hey, hey, dummy, don't do that, or blah, blah, blah. But we learned that, I learned at least just how to uplift each other in pressure and not point out where someone falls short. Because I think that just kind of hurts us as a team. So I think I learned how to just deal with him under higher pressure, I think. I don't know, take it how you want. But
the race is so fun, but it is very stressful. Like it's totally, you're stressed out, and it's so easy to want to just snap because he's not helping with directions, or I'm lost and I'm stressing, so I'm not believing what he's saying. Like I think it's the same thing. I think that we really did learn that we really can overcome stressful situations, at least in our relationship together, and not let that define us and who we are together.
Yeah, even if we accomplish our goal or not, I think it's more of like how we treat each other within
Mm.
whatever we're trying to do. And I think that alone will take us wherever. So
Yeah.
I had such a fun time watching you guys. I think just the way you kind of walk through the race is certainly not something we necessarily see from a lot of teams, and speak towards just the way that you approach things in general, even under this uber stressful game ending situation where you switch back and forth a record number of times. Like, you kind of just smile through it, like, yeah, it's downpouring. We're coming back to the Willies for the umpteenth time, but like, we're just going to keep doing it. And there are many teams that would not necessarily. So I do give you guys props for being able to get through to the end of the day. And look, like you said, if things had gone a different direction, 10, 15 minutes, you would not be talking with me today. And so
Yeah.
thank
you
you.
were there for, maybe not a long time, but a good time regardless.
Good
Yeah,
time.
we were like, if the ship's going down, man, we might as well just enjoy it. Like,
Yeah.
let's not ruin the like last 10 minutes we have on this race freaking out. We know it's
Yeah.
the end. Like, let's just have fun. You know?
Well, all the best to you guys and your family. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk with me, and can't wait to see what happens next.
Hey,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Of course,
you.
have a good one, guys.